So let's have a look at some of our mountain ranges that we have within the UK, Scotland, Ireland and Wales before I move on and explain what your task is. I'm going to move my beautiful face here so that you can see. So this is Ben Nevis, okay? Now this has the highest mountain peak within the Highland Mountains in Scotland, and the peak of this mountain is over 4,000 feet high. Now, an interesting fact is it actually used to be an active volcano. But now that it's a mountain, it actually forms one of the 3 Peak Mountain Challenges, which attracts over 100,000 climbers a year. So within the Highland Mountains, there are the 3 highest peaks, and along with Ben Nevis is Scafell Pike and Snowdon. So these are the 3 highest mountain ranges that exist within Scotland, and every year people have a challenge where they climb all 3 of these mountains. Now, we might hear about the 3 Mountain Peaks challenge a little bit later on the week, because I might have a sneaky challenge for you to be doing at home, but I'm not going to spoil the surprise now just in case. So that is Ben Nevis, and that is in Scotland. Now, within England, one of our biggest mountain ranges that we have is called the Pennines. Okay, now this is considered the backbone of England, and this is because this unbroken mountain range actually stretches all the way from the Peak District in the Midlands all the way to the Scottish border. So when we looked at our map earlier, we had that big chunk that went right up the middle, heading all the way up to Scotland. Those are the Pennine Mountains, okay? Now, the mountain range actually cuts through various parts of the UK. It goes all the way from the Yorkshire Dales, it spreads all the way through parts of Greater Manchester, spreads all the way up to Lancaster, and all the way through to the Cumbrian Hills as well. So the Pennine Mountains stretches all the way up through the middle, hence why it looks like it's the backbone. So if you imagine our spine as being our backbone, that goes up the middle of our backs from the base of our hips to the bottom of our skull. Same thing as well with the Pennine Mountains. So that's the biggest mountain range that we have within the UK. Now, here we have the Mourne Mountains. Okay, so this is a granite mountain range, and this is found in Northern Ireland. Okay, so this is again a range of mountains. It's a granite mountain, so it's mainly made of stone and rock. At certain points of the peaks that you might find there is snow, because the highest mountain there, which is called Slieve Donard, has a peak of 850 metres. So this is an average of 2,790 feet tall. So this is the highest mountain that they have within that Northern Irish mountain range. Now I'm going to see if anyone spots a mistake that Miss Humphrey might have made on there, which Miss Humphrey's going to tap herself on the wrist because she made a spelling mistake and didn't check it. I'm going to be making sure that I do that for our PowerPoint next time round. Now here we have Snowdonia. Now here you can see this is a trig point. So this is the peak, this is the summit of the highest part of the Snowdonia mountain, okay? And here you can see our trig, and this one actually has compass points on, so you can see it different variations of what might be in different directions and how far away they are. So this is actually a photograph that's taken at the highest peak of Snowdon. This is a very, very famous spot where hundreds and thousands of people travel every year just to take a photograph. Now, this is part of the largest national park in Wales. So national parks are protected, and this is one of the biggest ones that they have in Wales. It's called the Snowdonia National Park. Now, it also has the largest mountain in England and Wales, and it also boasts the largest natural lake. So you'll tend to find that there is a point down here, if you were to look at photos online, where people will walk up, not necessarily to the highest trig point, but to a point somewhere on here where you take a photo, and the photo shows the backdrop of the mountain range, as well as this natural lake that pools right in the middle up by the highest peak. Okay, now it has its Welsh name of Erie, which means the places of eagles. So obviously eagles tend to fly very high, as is the mountain peak of Snowdonia. Okay, now I've actually climbed past the Snowdonia before, and it's not the easiest thing to climb. So some of you might have climbed it before, or even have seen it when you've been to Wales, but it's a spectacular mountain to have a look at, especially when you reach the peak and you can see all the way across the national park. It's beautiful, beautiful. So your task for today's lesson. So if you are at school, you should be able to access an atlas to be able to support you with this, but you will also have access to the internet. So for those of you at home that don't have an internet, don't have an atlas to be able to use at home, you can use Google Earth. Now Google Earth is fantastic. And there are so many things I'd love to show you using Google Earth. So what you'll need to do for your task is you will need to find the mountains that are written at the bottom of the sheet that you will have attached to the document sent home to you. So here you have some various mountains, and what you will need to do is using your atlases or Google Earth, you need to try and locate which of these mountain ranges belong to the labels down here, and you will need to write them next to the numbers for which one is which. Okay, now if you cannot print this document, it doesn't matter. All you need to do is write down those numbers of 1 to 10, and then what you need to do is using the maps online, if you can locate them, just match the correct name of the mountain to the correct number. That's all you need to do. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use Google Earth, okay, because Google Earth is absolutely fantastic. So here is a little video just to show you how to use Google Earth. So if you go onto Google and type in Google Earth into your search bar, you want to select one of the links that comes up for Google Earth. What it will do is it will load it in the background. So all you have to do is to click on launch, and what it will do is it will load it in the background. And I'm going to show you how you can search for the mountain ranges and how you can drop yourself as a little person on the peak of that mountain range and actually see for yourself what that view actually looks like from the top of the mountains. Okay, so give it a few seconds for it to load. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you where you need to type in your searches so that you can find the mountain ranges that you are looking for. Okay, so if you go to the search bar up here, okay, so if you click on search, now I'm going to type in Snowdonia Peak. Now the reason why I'm adding peak, because that will take you right to the top of the mountains, because a lot of these places are within national parks and they will actually take you to different parts of the national park rather than the actual top of the mountain range. So if I now click enter, what this will do is this will now zoom out and it will show me, there we go, so that is the peak there of Snowdon, okay, so the mountain in Snowdonia. Okay, now what I can do is down here is I can use the zoom in and the zoom in and the zoom out buttons here so that I can find it and locate it on the UK map so that you know where to find it. I'm not going to zoom in and out now because it sometimes mucks up a little bit, but what you can do here is if I click onto the zoom in button here just so I can find my Snowdon Peak a little bit, this little person down here, now this is a brilliant skill, if you click onto this person and drag him, you can make him stand right on that little peak there where the little red dot is. What it's going to do is it's going to zoom in now and it's going to show you what the national park, the top of Snowdon, looks like from that point in view. So what you can do is you can zoom out. Okay, so if I zoom out here, oh, let's zoom back in again, go a little bit further in. So if I was to zoom in, where's my little man gone? There we go, let's pop him back where he belongs. Okay, so he's now right up on the peak of the mountain. So I can use these toggles here, okay, to help me move around Google Earth so I can see in different directions. Okay, so if I drag my screen in this direction and I clicked further over here onto these people, I could move forward and it will take me to a different edge point. So I could walk up onto the steps, I could keep walking up onto the steps, and here I can go and stand where these people are and I can see right the way round onto the ridge of Snowdonia. So use this little person down here at the bottom to help you. You can pinpoint him and drop him onto the top of the mountains and you can have a nosy and a view for yourself as well. Okay, so have a go at the task. I have left the instructions on the end of this PowerPoint as well for you to be able to look at how to do it. But just have a bit of fun and explore Google Earth and explore all those different mountain ranges. Have fun, you five.